Hey, horror fans. Once again, it's the Horror Miser Monty G. Yes, time to do another movie review. And today we're going to review the movie What Keeps You Alive? Yes. Now, What Keeps You Alive is a 2018 Canadian thriller horror film. It was written and directed by Colin Minahan. It stars Hannah Emily Anderson and Brittany Allen. Now, Colin Minahan, he might be familiar to some people. He and his writing partner, I think it's Stuart Ortiz, if I got his name right, better known as the Vicious Brothers. They did the Grave Encounter movies. I did not see either one of those. They did the movie Extraterrestrial. I think they did It Stains the Sands Red. I think that's a zombie flick, if I remember correctly. And now they did this one. Now, it's interesting that Hannah Emily Anderson and Brittany Allen, they were both in Jigsaw. Yes. Now, they did not have any scenes together because I believe that Hannah Emily Anderson character was a forensic specialist to one of the Jigsaw's captors, and Brittany Allen was also one of Jigsaw's captors. So they really didn't have any scenes together. But it's funny how sometimes you have these co-stars that have been in other movies, and now they're in this movie together. I want to thank, once again, my great friend Emma from Spooky Astronauts, who recommended this movie for me. She's recommended quite a few good movies, so that's why decide to finally take a look at this, and let's see what I have to say about What Keeps You Alive. Now, we have the lesbian couple, I believe it's Jackie and Jules. They're celebrating their first year anniversary together, which I find this is nice. They go to this nice secluded cabin. It's very nice. It's very lovely. It's romantic. They have a nice time spending some time together as they celebrate their first year anniversary, but then something happens with Jackie. And things seem to take a turn. And that's basically all I can say without really spoiling anything. This movie, for me, in this type of review, I had to think to myself, how am I going to review this movie and not spoil it? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave a muted sign right there. So if you have not read the synopsis of this film, if you've already seen it, then obviously you can ignore it because you know what I'm talking about. But for those who don't want to have the movie spoiled, you can mute what I'm about to say. And once I'm done with this particular part of the synopsis, I'll take the mute off. Okay? Mute is on now. So basically, Jackie isn't what she appears to be. Apparently, she is a sociopath. And this is not the first time that she's lured a potential lover to their deaths. Yes, she's a stone cold sociopath. I would say right at the beginning of the movie, once they get to the cabin, a neighbor from the other side of the river comes and calls her by a different name. And that's our first hint that something is not right. And a little bit towards the right around the end of the first act, she pushes her off a cliff, and she believes to fall to her death. So basically, the rest of the film is Jules trying to figure out what the hell happened, why she's trying to kill me, and it's basically her fight to survive and trying to find out what in the world is going on with this woman who I thought was the love of my life. All right, mute off. So, for the people who did not want the synopsis spoiled, the rest of the movie is pretty fascinating. It's a fascinating storyline about love and betrayal, heartbreak, and anger. And you got to give Colin Minahan credit for how he wrote this story. First of all, the film is filmed beautifully. I love the setting of the woods and the cabin. It's first of all, when the movie begins, it seems romantic. It's nice. It's a lovely a nice setting. You have a romantic fire, and how nice and how well they make the shots and how lovely they shoot everything. It's once that the thing happens, of course, people who know what I'm talking about, that's when you get a little change in tone. Now it's isolation, it's creepiness, it's deadly. It's deadly. And that's where the great tone, even though it's a tone shift, it's still how nicely well they film it, from being lovely and romantic, and now it's dangerous, isolation, and creepy. Now, for what I also read, this was supposed to be when the story was first written out, it was supposed to be a heterosexual couple, but they decided to change it to a lesbian couple, and I think that was a pretty good idea because both actresses are excellent in this roles. Both Hannah and Brittany are very well versed in their roles, especially with Brittany when she portrays once the thing happens and all of a sudden she's shocked, then she's sad, and the emotions that she plays throughout the entire movie versus shockness, then betrayal, and then anger. And she does do all three phases. And Hannah, who plays Jackie, is brilliant in this one. She first comes off loving and supportive, and then, of course, when that happens, her whole shift changes to what you expect that type of character to be. Of course, people who've seen this picture know what I'm talking about, and you have to give credit for both lead actresses. They really do a fine job in this movie. So, everything about this movie is perfect. I mean, you have the nice setting, you get the tone shift, you have the great scenery, and everything is filmed. The cinematography is great. Everything about this film is great. And then another thing happens. I would say a little towards after the end of the second act, and then something happens. And it just comes out of left field, and I really don't know what the hell what they put that in this picture. Now, for people who've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about, because to me it really doesn't make any sense. And again, I'll try my best not to spoil the event that takes place. To me, it kind of limits the film and it adds an extra 20 minutes extra that we really didn't need. It kind of drags the film when that particular thing happens. And to me, it really wasn't needed. If you had cut that scene out and let everything else take its place, it would have been a very fantastic movie. And not that I had a problem with the ending. I thought the ending was fantastic. I thought it was a proper way to end the film, except for that scene that takes place. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Why add it on? It just drags the film an extra 20 minutes. So I guess I'll just say this: despite that little fiasco, I really did enjoy the film. It's a very nice, well-paced film. I love the two leads. I love how it was written. I loved how it was directed. Everything about this film is great, except for that little, I guess you could say, a minor inconvenience. But I really did enjoy the film, so I highly recommend you guys, if you want to check it out, fine. I really highly recommend it. So, the Horror Miser is going to open up his vault, and I'm going to give What Keeps You Alive 3 out of my 5 gold coins. That's only going to give this 3 out of my 5 gold coins. Would have probably given it maybe 4.5 if that scene did not take place, and that kind of just takes everything out of the film. But it's still good enough, so I'll give it 3 out of my 5 gold coins. So, my horror fans, have you seen What Keeps You Alive? Do you agree with me about that particular scene that takes place? And you didn't mind that little thing that happens, Did you think it took it away from the film, or did you thought it was a nice way to add on to the film? Leave your comments down in the comment section below and tell me what you thought about What Keeps You Alive. Well, that's my video for today, guys. Hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up because it does help the channel out a lot. And once again, this is your first time here, please hit that subscriber button. Ring that notification bell. That way you can come and enjoy the horror experience with me, the Horror Miser Monty G. And as always, all my social media links will be down in the description box below as well. Once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Monty G. And always remember, horror rules. I'll see you guys later. I'm out.